Good morning, kids. Hope all is well. Hope you've been getting all of your work done. So this is your next tutorial video. This is starting with lesson 3. We're going to make predictions using ratios. Remember in the past I've told you that when making predictions means set up a proportion. We did this in our probability unit. So starting with our first example, what you had to do is you had to total each column and add them together to get your total amount. So my total was 28. Number of theme park photos, theme park 11 over your total, which is 28. So the probability was 11 out of 28. Real simple. Here's the prediction part. There are 560 students at the school. Predict how many students would bring a photo taken at the theme park. So we have to take our original probability, theme park, part over whole, 11 out of 28, and set it up as a proportion. So if 11 out of 28, how many out of 560? Here they found their scale factor, which was 20. 28 times 20 is 560. 11 times 20 is 220. So when we come down here, it says a survey found that 6 out of every 10 students have a blog. So what is the probability that the student at the school has a blog? Easy, 6 out of 10. So we come over here, we write 6 out of 10, and I simplify it to 3/5. Let's go ahead and write this as a percent and a decimal. 6/10 written as a decimal is 0.6, which is 60%. Now, suppose there are 250 students. How many have a blog? So again, we take our original, set up our proportion. Scale factor here was 25, so 150 students. So you could say about 150. Okay, so remember, if you can't see your scale factor, we all know how to solve a proportion. We get our cross products, and then we divide. Okay, making predictions using equations. Guys, this is just the percent equation. Percent of a number, of means multiply. So you take your percent, make it into a decimal, multiply by the total. Circle graphs. So, same thing that we're doing and that we did when we did circle graphs. 2 ways. You can subtract first or you can subtract second. So if you subtract first, you would subtract your percents and then multiply. If you subtract after, you would multiply and then subtract. So in this example, they have multiplied first. So they took 0.54, which is no TVs in bedroom, multiplied it by the whole, and they got 931.5. They took the 46%, which students have TVs in their bedroom, multiplied and got that, and then they subtracted the 2. So in our example down here, I set it up this opposite way. I subtracted first. So I took the 54% minus the 46%, and that gave me 8%. This time, they're telling us there's 1,370 students. So I did 8% of the 1,370, which gave me 109.6. Remember, you can't have 0.6 of a person, so we're going to round that up to a whole person. So it's going to be about 110. Okay, so this was a real short and sweet lesson. Let's go through the independent practice real quick to get some more practice before you're turned loose onto the independent practice. Let me just find my notes. Okay, here we go. The probability of choosing a career in a public service. So we have to come over here and find public service, which is 6. Well, what did we have to do first? We have to know how many total people. So when you add all of those up, you actually get 50. So public service is going to be 6 out of 50. I'm going to go ahead and write that as a decimal. The easiest way here is because I can get 50 to 100 by multiplying by 2. And that's going to give me 12 over 100, which is 0.12, which is 12%. Probability of choosing a career in education. Come over here, education is 14, so I have 14 out of 50. Again, I want it over 100. 14 times 2 is 28, so it's 0.28. So it's 28%. Career in sports, that was 2 out of 50. So that's 4 out of 100, so that's 0.04 and 4%. So now it's asking me to predict. Predict means proportion. How many students out of 400 will enter education? So let's take our original here. So I've got 28 over 100. How many out of 400? Well, multiply by 4. 28 times 4 gives me 112. So approximately 112 students. Predict how many students out of 500 in the medical field. So let's look over here for medical. It's 11. So we have 11 out of 50. How many out of 500? Skill factor here would be 10. So it's 110. Okay, we're going to use the circle graph. How many more would choose buying a music CD compared to going to the movies? So I'm going to take those 2% and I'm going to subtract. So I have 32%. And I'm going to take away 5%. 32 minus 5 gives me, so I need 27% of the 60,000. Convert, multiply. Okay, I'm going to give you just a second. I want to see if you can do that math. So you would get 16,200. So now we want to predict how many out of 28 millions. So prediction means proportion. So you could set that up as a proportion, or the other way is to, right here, instead of multiplying by this, you could do the 28 million. So then I would have 0.27 times 28 million, which would give me 7.56 million. You could do the same thing with the prediction. Okay, I hope this is helpful. If you have any questions, remember you can meet me on Google Meet every day from 1 to 2. Y'all have a great day.